Welcome back, everybody. So glad you could be with me here today. Walter at the workbench. This is take 4. I have to make this one quick. I got some questions in regards to single blade planes and the thickness of the blade, and double iron planes and the thickness of their blades in relationship to their cutting performance and smoothness of cut. We'll touch on that. While I was getting ready for the video, I took some time to plane this piece of walnut, and I was going to show you all that on camera, but it's too late now. But the story on this piece of walnut is it came out of a cabinet that was in my house, in my bathroom, almost 40 years ago, and it was destined for the burn pile. But I want to encourage you to consider, before you toss anything into the burn pile, evaluate it. Evaluate what you do, maybe find other people who can use it. Because the one thing in this life that is always around us is energy. That energy is converted into the things we use, into our clothing, into our wood, into our tools, even into our food. So energy never goes away. It just gets constantly converted. So this piece of wood already has energy stored in it. So by throwing it away in a non-useful fashion, for instance, in a burn pile, which is just tossing it away, I am losing that energy. It's gone. By reclaiming it, I'm storing that energy for future use. So when you're out and about and you see people giving away furniture and you see people giving away lumber, evaluate what's there naturally, because you don't want to bring junk home. But if it's solid wood and you can get pieces out of it of some usable size, even if it's just for birdhouses, you reclaim it. That's enough said about that. On to the thickness of the iron. In brief, and I'm not going to go through all the planes like I did in my previous 3 takes, but in brief, the thickness of the cutting iron of your plane to some degree is irrelevant. I say that with a caveat. If it's too thin and it's unsupported, then you don't have a really good tool. So in this instance, this blade is approximately 0.078 inches thick. And I didn't measure it with a digital caliper. I just know that it's 5/64, which is that number. It is bedded to the bed of the plane nearly perfectly. The wedge is pressing it into that bed nearly perfectly. So it's transferring the energy from the cross pin into the wedge, into the iron, into the bed. So this all becomes one. Now, if I were to double the thickness of that iron, it actually could make it worse, because that iron has the ability to flex ever so slightly, and the wedge pushes it down, and everything kind of just, it's like putting your palms together. There's certain parts that are going to give and some that don't, but then boom, they're there. So this Miller's Falls has a thin blade in it. My Lee Nielsen has a thick blade in it. They both are bedded properly, sharpened properly. They're both bevel up. They both cut the same. The double iron plane, the key to the double iron plane, which is why I have always said, always said, that Leonard Bailey had to have been a genius. A thin cutting iron, a thin cap iron, so blade and chip breaker, pulled together with a screw tight because of the spring action. Then they are on a frog. The frog is on the bed of the plane. So the frog beds tightly to the bed, the blade set beds tightly to the frog, and then the lever cap locks the blade set to the frog. So yes, there are many places that it can go wrong. But when each of those points of contact are within tolerance, that all, once again, like I say, it kind of bends itself and mates itself and becomes one. So is a thicker iron helpful? To a degree, yes, because it can dampen a little bit of the vibration. But does it change the cut? No. Then the other question was on the single iron, can that plane hardwoods? Well, I planed this with it. So this is walnut, not an extremely hard hardwood, but I planed that with it with no problem. So it has to do with sharpness, thickness of set, and if the plane is properly put together and bedded tightly. That's better. I hope that this clears up some things, some questions. If you have any additional questions, leave them down in the comment section. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Head out to your workshop. Go make some shavings. Walter out.